Perhaps we should point out that the federal government has had to spend trillions of dollars to try to keep Americans alive during this pandemic. So it is absolutely the government's business. It is taxpayers' business if we have to continue to spend money to try to keep people from contracting COVID and helping reopen the economy. And so it is our business to try to make sure Americans can prosper, Americans can freely associate, and knocking on a door has never been against the law. You don't have to answer, but we hope you do, because if you haven't been vaccinated, we can help dispel some of those rumors that you've heard and hopefully get you vaccinated.
Yesterday, President Biden stopped at Chicago's O'Hare Airport to meet with the mayor there, Lori Lightfoot, about the city's surge in violent crime. The meeting came after a violent holiday weekend where an officer and 2 federal agents were shot and wounded in broad daylight. And just days after, this child right here, this student, a University of Chicago student, a rising junior, died after being hit by a stray bullet on a city train. Our next guest is also a student at the University of Chicago, and she wrote an op-ed calling out the mayor's soft on crime policies. Her name is Audrey Unverfurth, and she joins us now. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
I know you didn't know Max Lewis. He was heading to an internship at a finance firm. He was from Denver. His parents sent him off to college, and he's not going to come home. He was killed there in Chicago. How is the school reacting?
He had a really bright future ahead of him. He was so involved in the community. And as you say, he was just viciously and senselessly gunned down on his way home from his summer internship. He was struck in the back of the neck, and he was 20 years old. And it's so devastating. And I'm so very sorry. It's just heartbreaking.
I want to read a quote from your op-ed. You said, "I've ridden the CTA countless times. When my friends and I board the train, we shouldn't fear that we'll be murdered by a stray bullet. When we sit down on the bus, we shouldn't worry that we'll be knifed to death. That's absurd. Thanks to the incompetence of Lightfoot, this lunacy has become a reality." Joe Biden was there shaking hands with her on the tarmac. Do you think the 2 of them will do anything about this?
I fear they won't. I hope they will, but I fear that yesterday was just more empty platitudes, more promises that won't be kept. I mean, Lori Lightfoot had the nerve recently to say that crime in Chicago is on the decline. That's a blatant lie. Crime is not on the decline. Homicides and shooting rates are up. And as we've seen, Chicago had its most murderous weekend of the year over the 4th of July. Over 90 people were shot. And I fear that that was just an opportunity for a photo op yesterday with President Biden, and I don't have confidence.
This afternoon, another case of corruption at City Hall. Alderwoman Carrie Austin has been indicted on federal bribery charges. The indictment revolves, I should say, around plans for a $50 million development in her ward. A construction company allegedly bribed Austin and her chief of staff with free home improvements in an attempt to curry favor and in exchange for the contract to that development project. Alderwoman Austin is charged with 1 count of bribery conspiracy, 2 counts of using interstate facilities to promote bribery, and 1 count of lying to the FBI. She is now the 3rd sitting alderperson under federal indictment. Alderman Ed Burke was indicted back in 2019, and Patrick Daley Thompson this April.